For every beloved hero, even though nobody asked for them, there's one that is hated by almost everyone. So starting out with one of the most hated heroes in the game, Hero Magic Archer. Sitting at 4 elixir, this guy is the living embodiment of what seems to be Clash Royale's current game design philosophy. If everyone's broken, nobody is. What has always been the main fatal flaw of the classic Magic Archer? He's slow and squishy and doesn't even do that much damage anyway. So what did the devs do? They completely erased his biggest issue. For a mere 1 elixir, you can activate an ability that lets him dodge out of danger, leaving behind a massive decoy with a ridiculous amount of HP, all while he continues to shoot geometry and pierce through everything in his path. This has got to be the most broken hero ability for just 1 elixir. This card essentially gives you a cheat code to completely bleed your opponent's elixir dry. In a tense situation, your opponent panics and drops a 4 elixir fireball right on his head. You tap that ability button, he casually sidesteps it, and boom, your opponent is instantly 3 elixir behind. Even worse, they just wasted their heavy spell and are left staring at a decoy with no counter in their rotation for your next push. That is just straight up nuts. It's really no surprise that decks built around the Hero Magic Archer are easily some of the best and most feared Clash Royale hero decks dominating the ladder right now. Magic Archer is definitely loved by those of you who have him, but all other Clash Royale players hate him for his broken ability. But there is one card that everyone just seems to love, the Hero Wizard. Wizard has been one of the most common troops since day one. Every single OG fan has Wizard leveled up because of their reliable ability to completely melt down large swarms of troops. But when we talk about the hero version, his ability isn't just helpful. In my opinion, this might legitimately be one of the strongest cards in the entire game right now. The reason he's loved is simply because he doesn't do anything that totally annoys you. Without his ability, he's still just a base wizard, which for 5 elixir has always been a pretty underwhelming card. But his fiery fight ability, it costs just 1 elixir and it gives him the exact utility he needs to actually counter other troops without feeling cheap. What makes this ability super useful is how he essentially becomes invisible to all ground troops. He takes to the skies for 5 seconds, gets a massive 50% movement speed boost, and becomes completely unreachable for any enemy troops or spells that target only the ground. Normally, a Prince or a Mini Pekka can finish him off with a strike or 2, but once he flies, he escapes their reach and even pushes them away. He melts things down faster and sucks enemy troops into a circle, dealing extra damage. The clever part about this ability is that the center of the tornado is actually placed half a tile behind his main target. If you're hitting slow troops like a Golem or Lava Hound, you can literally drag them backward. But here's the catch, it doesn't really make faster troops completely stuck in place. Units like a Hog Rider are often still able to push through the tornado and get their hits in, and this is exactly why he isn't broken at all. It provides solid defense, but there is still clear counterplay. Since his release back on January 5th, 2026 with the start of the season, he's shaken up the meta in a really healthy way. If you remember, he was locked behind the Premium Pass Royale for players who reached Arena 15 at 5,000 trophies, and then followed the Hero Mini Pekka pattern by dropping in Hero Summons 2 weeks later, on January 19th, 2026. God, I still can't believe it's 2026, dude. I'm old. Whether you play him or play against him, this is a safe card to invest in. I don't think future nerfs will kill him because his strength isn't in raw, overpowered stats. It's entirely reliant on how you use him. There's a reason fans on Reddit have labeled him the most balanced hero. He's just undeniably well designed both offensively and defensively, completely avoiding that toxic pay-to-win feeling that a lot of heroes have. I would consider the Hero Giant to be in the hated category, and honestly, more than most. The base Giant already got an HP nerf earlier this year, which just made the Giant an overall less threatening card. The real reason people despise him isn't because the hero version is pure trash, it's because his ability is basically a total coin toss, depending on what deck you're facing, and when you're on the receiving end, there's literally nothing you can do to stop it. His Heroic Hurl ability costs 2 elixir, and it allows him to grab the enemy troop at the highest HP, currently on the board and literally toss them into the opposing lane. On paper, you might think it just creates a problem for the enemy, right? But in certain matchups, it completely disrupts the entire flow of the match. Let's say your opponent drops a Pekka or Mega Knight to defend your giant. They spend 2 elixir, activate the ability, and just send your Pekka to the other lane. That means you suddenly have to commit all your remaining elixir to defending their now lone giant that is walking right up to your tower. You literally cannot afford to support your 7 elixir Pekka, meaning they can just effortlessly defend her on the other side with cheap 3 elixir minions or guards. It's absolutely infuriating. This hero card is just there to piss everyone off, but in other matches against fast cycle decks, the ability is completely useless, and you can basically never use it. Considering you only get 1 hero slot to pick from, having a hero that either completely ruins your opponent's entire 7 elixir strategy with 0 counterplay, or does absolutely nothing at all, makes him one of the most polarizing and agonizing cards to see in the arena. If the hero giant is the kind of card that literally annoys every Clash Royale player ever, let me tell you about my personal favorite, the hero Barbarian Barrel. The community absolutely loves this guy, and it all comes down to his pure utility. Right now, he's incredibly strong, especially up at the top of the ladder, where even the smallest micro interactions matter. If you're playing in the low to mid ladder ranges, you honestly might not see him affect the game all that much, since those small trades aren't as punishing down there. But at the top, he is a complete game changer. He might be really annoying if you're on the wrong side of him, but his low cost and effectiveness are unmatched. His ability cost is the same as the wizards or the archers, but it works in a very different way. He doesn't do anything completely crazy, there's no flying, no tornadoes, no dodging spells, but it does give you a positive elixir trade 90% of the time, and that wins games. It sounds basic, but it makes him an absolutely insane counter pusher. The double roll mechanic is a nightmare for anyone playing decks that abuse flooding the arena with lots of smaller troops. If your opponent relies on log bait tactics using Skeleton Army, Goblin Gang, or Tombstone, that first roll wipes the board clean. That second roll, though, it's right there to crush whatever they try to panic drop to defend the surviving Barbarian. This is also helpful against annoying chip damage cards like Princess, Dark Goblin, Firecracker, or even the classic Musketeer, which get completely steamrolled and distracted before they can get solid value. The best part about this card though, even if your opponent plays smart and doesn't spam their cheap troops, this card is already doing its job. Just knowing that you have that 1 elixir second roll in your back pocket keeps your opponent respectful of your Barb Barrel. They're forced to hesitate and hold on to their squishy units, which entirely disrupts their cycle and dictates the pace of the match in your favor. The reason why this hero is loved so much is because of the control that he gives you over the arena, and the community really loves this hero, because unlike the Magic Archer and some other heroes that are legitimately broken, this one seems really balanced and doesn't try to break the game in any way. Now, if the Barbarian Barrel is the king of cheap, efficient counter-pushing, then on the opposite spectrum, we have the Ice Golem's hero card that everyone hates playing against. It's literally just so annoying. It breaks all the momentum of the match. Let's be real for a second. Before this hero card dropped, the standard base Ice Golem wasn't exactly the most powerful card you'd see marching down the arena. Sure, there are some specific decks that he suits well, like Hog 2.6 and Loon decks, but apart from those, he wasn't that effective. He was mostly just a cheap walking ice cube that exploded into a tiny bit of frost damage. But then Supercell decided to give him the hero treatment, and oh boy, did things change. If the hero wizard is the one everyone loves to use, the hero Ice Golem most definitely falls into the hated to play against category. He's the one who makes you want to close the app and take a walk, which, you know what, maybe that's not a bad thing. So why is he so universally despised? It all comes down to his defensive power. It is agonizingly annoying to deal with, especially if you run a fast cycle deck like Hog Rider, Wall Breakers, or Minor Poison. Whenever you finally track your opponent's card cycle perfectly, you know they're low on elixir, and all your heavy hitters are rushing to their tower, while suddenly down comes the hero Ice Golem. They pop that ability, and your entire push is just engulfed in a frozen, blinding blizzard. It completely kills your momentum on the spot, giving them all the time they need in the world to recover their elixir and let their crown towers chip your troops away. It turns what should be a fast-paced, punishing match into an absolute grinding slog. Alright, rant over. There is, however, another hero card that is a personal favorite due to its efficiency, cost, and how useful it is in tense situations. When you want to completely overwhelm your opponent without spending too much elixir, this is the card you turn to. Hero Goblins. So here's why they're loved. It all comes down to pure, unbeatable value. Their base card is only 2 elixir. What makes them so universally loved by the community is their absolutely insane banner swapping ability. When the final goblin falls, it drops a brigade banner that calls in a fresh wave of reinforcements, creating immense swarm pressure out of nowhere. Because the cost to play them and activate the ability is practically nothing, they allow you to snowball your pushes incredibly fast. Your opponent is constantly forced into a lose-lose situation. Do they waste a precious spell like log or arrows to clean up a 2 elixir card? Or do they hold their spell and let your goblins overwhelm their defenses? They fit seamlessly into almost any fast cycle or spell bait deck right now. You can just keep dropping them at the bridge to bait out spells, dictate the pace of the match, and keep your elixir rotation moving flawlessly. Plus, you get some mind games with it to boot. But there is one hero card that I will never hold close, and that would be the hero Musketeer. The reason I hate this hero card in particular is not that it's hard to play against or that she's toxic to play against. It's because she is universally considered the absolute worst hero to put in your deck. All of you will be questioning why I'm saying this when Musketeer is extremely popular and loved in the Clash Royale community. Yeah, you're right, the standard Musketeer is a Clash Royale staple. Reliable, decent damage, great anti-air. You would think giving her a hero upgrade would make her unstoppable as a sniper. Instead, the devs gave us this absolute mess. Her signature ability, the trusty turret thing, is anything but trusty. To even activate it, you have to drop a whopping 3 elixir. I mean, come on, man, let that sink in for a second. This is the single most expensive hero ability in the entire game right now. For a massive 3 elixir investment on top of her base cost, you would expect that turret to completely lock down a lane, shred through a Mega Knight, or at least survive longer than 3 seconds. But no. The turret itself is laughably weak and incredibly fragile. It shoots like a pea shooter from Plants vs. Zombies and gets instantly wiped off the map by a stray spell, a light breeze, or I don't know, maybe your opponent sneezed. It's impossible to justify that kind of heavy investment. I mean, imagine spending all that elixir just to watch your opponent casually drop a fireball, instantly destroying your 3 elixir ability and damaging your Musketeer and Crown Tower in the process. You're basically paying elixir to put yourself in a massive disadvantage. In the same slot where 1 elixir gives you a dodging magic archer or a flying tornado shooting wizard, paying 3 elixir for a fragile stationary gun is just an insult to your elixir bar, and most importantly, that hero slot. Alright, time to move on to my beloved Knight. The standard Knight has always been one of the most loved and highly utilized cards in the entire game, simply because of his pure, reliable simplicity. He's the ultimate cheap mini tank, and it's crazy how flawlessly he fits into almost every single deck archetype out there. This hero card just takes all of that classic reliability, adds so much more to his arsenal, and completely amps up his mustached charm. You almost can't build a bad deck with him because he has all the defensive abilities a Clash Royale fan could wish for. What makes him so incredible is that he has, hands down, one of the best abilities you could ever ask for on a tank. For just 2 elixir, you activate an ability that is an absolute lifesaver. Upon activation, he instantly gains a protective shield and literally taunts all enemy units within the whole radius. It really comes in clutch sometimes. For 5 full seconds, or until the shield is destroyed, every single troop within that huge radius is forced to stop whatever they are doing, turn around, and lock onto the Knight. This ability really fits his name, and this is super helpful in tense scenarios where your king is about to go down. Pop the shield and pull them away. It completely disrupts your opponent's targeting and buys your other defensive troops all the time they need to stop the enemy push. Unlike the highly situational abilities of some other heroes, the Knight's Taunt is the one ability in the game that is just always useful. Whether you're up on elixir, down on elixir, attacking or defending for your life, using that 2 elixir shield is guaranteed to get you massive value. Alright, now this one in particular is literally so broken that the community has been buzzing about it for weeks. How overpowered the hero Mini Pekka is, especially at level 22. The game feels completely unplayable when you run into this guy on ladder. A level 18 hero Mini Pekka drops in 1 second and practically takes down a king tower in 3 hits. It genuinely feels like you're being forced to do something you refuse to do. Take out the credit card for that dumb Clash Pass just to survive the onslaught. Where most of the cards in this update get an insane ability that completely transformed them from a mid-level pick to a top-tier threat, the hero Mini Pekka just took things to a completely toxic and game-breaking level. His pancake ability might look really silly and fun, but trust me, it is not a joke. The second he eats those pancakes, he gets crazy strong. His health increases and he destroys your tower in just a few hits. The stat boost he gets from his ability is so broken to the point that it completely ruins the balance of the game. If you're mid-ladder and you see a hero Mini Pekka, just quit the game, bro. At level 22, Mini Pekka will deal almost 1900 damage per hit and have around 3400 hit points, all for a base cost of 4 elixir. And that's assuming you don't need to spend extra elixir to get him to his highest potential. He's essentially just a better, cheaper version of the normal Pekka. Outside of bridge spamming, which would require a back placement for maximum buildup, even though more often than not, you're not really using Mini Pekka as your main trump card to justify placing him in the back anyway, unless you're resetting a push to support another card that deals more damage. Anyway, you mainly play Mini Pekka for a defense, but giving a defensive card those kind of max level stats means that if he survives the defense and counter pushes, he is taking out a tower alone in just a few hits. It is absolutely insane. Anyway, those are my picks for the most loved and hated hero cards in Clash Royale. Some of them can be really frustrating to face, but there's no reason Supercell can't fix those cards, which is what I attempted to do in this video right here, where I try to fix every single broken card in Clash Royale. Go check it out, and I'll see you there.